Welcome back to the Secret Underground Lair. So I've made the first pass on our ArchTop guitar, and as you can see from this profile, we are just missing this knot, so that's going to be completely cut out of the top. We are just kissing this knot, but that knot kind of drifts out that way. So the deeper we go, which is going to be fairly deep on this side, we will completely cut out that knot, so that's gone. Catching a little bit more of this knot, but again, that drifts out that way. So the deeper we go, the more of that will be eliminated. And similarly on this side, we'll eliminate that almost completely. In fact, I think that'll disappear the deeper we go. So I'm going to put you on time lapse as we make a few more passes. That's today's adventure. So I didn't get very far on that last cut before this mechanism failed. These teeth I thought would bind together a little bit tighter as pressure was applied, but no, it just gave away. Now fortunately I hadn't made any cuts, so no damage done, but I needed to redesign. So I did. I redesigned a part. What I did is I took fundamentally this same gear here, except I got rid of the gear mechanism. So it's just a round circle now with the same belt tensioning mechanism out here. But I put a hole through here and some that could accommodate a barrel nut, and cut away a little bit underneath there so that the bolt, this now wheel, will sit inside a little bracket and spin in here. This bolt goes through the barrel nut, and as you tighten that bolt, it pulls the barrel nut this way, causing the whole disc to spin this way, around like so, pulling this up and tensioning the belt. So I printed those parts, put it onto the sled of the bed rail CNC. I'll show you what it looks like. And that is the mechanism in place. So as I tighten this screw here, this wheel will spin around and pull the belt that way, tightening. So it's now in place, the belt is tensioned, and I am quite comfortable that having a bolt and nut in place, it's not going to move around. It's a much more stable contraption. So we'll set up to do this second cut of our ArchTop guitar. See how this works. So that cut went very well. Very pleased with that. And our blemish here is shrinking a little bit. I expect that to continue to shrink the deeper I go. So that was at 22 millimeters. I go down to 20 millimeters. And preceding cuts, I'll just keep you on time lapse for the duration of these cuts, unless anything eventful occurs. All of the cuts have now been made. I think I got them all but one. So that last little montage, you saw me go through all of this. Our knot has, I'm not going to say has disappeared, but we're down to good wood again. You can see that's the pith right there of that branch. So we are now well below that. Pith of this one is down here, but it's disappearing as we go. So we are certainly below the pith when we get to here. And it's very small at this point, so I don't think we're going to have any issue there. And we have completely missed the knot on this side and completely missed the knot on this side. So overall, I'm pleased. I think in the end, what we're going to wind up with is some interesting coloring here and interesting coloring here. So I am now ready to make this very slow cut that'll do moving. Where previously I've been moving 2 millimeters at a time, I'm now going to be moving 1 millimeter at a time. And I'm slowing the router travel down considerably to allow because we're just going to go back and forth across the whole piece here. And we have to go up and down to round this all out. So it's going to be a slower process, substantially. And we'll see how we do. Last time we failed right about here when the router stopped moving. So hopefully with all the changes that have been made and slowing it down a little bit, we should be fine. So let's get on with it. After making first couple cuts, I noticed that the Z-axis was not moving. So I stopped the print right away. And I think I know what the problem is. Maybe this has been the problem all along. As you can see in here now, the clamp on the top, a better view. So the clamp that I've got here on the motor is turning. If you look at the rubber hose here, it is not turning. So that rubber hose is twisting rather than spinning our Z-axis rod here. So this rubber hose is my weak link, and I'm going to have to replace that. Well, I'm glad I discovered that before we got too far. So anyway, I'll fix that and we'll be back with some other arrangement.